A lot of chatter out there about the United States Mint purchasing its last of the cent blanks, which we are assuming that means it's the end of the cent. It's going to be the end of an era very, very soon when they run out of those blanks. So time to look back at some vintage pockets in history. And I'm talking about the proofs being the finest known quality struck coin, the proof. How about the finest known grade? Well, let's look back at a pair of bookend coins, the last of the wheats and the first of the memorials in proof condition, finest known, which is actually a 69, folks. It's actually a 69. There are no 70s known to exist in the world for either of these two coins, 1958 and 1959. Now, the wheat cent started, the first ever Lincoln was the year 1909, and they struck wheat cents from 1909 through 1958. So this is the last wheat cent struck in the wheat cent series. And then in 1959, they started making the memorial cent series. So here's the reverse of the wheat. Let's just spend another moment on that quickly. Beautiful coin, wheat ears on either side of the reverse, hence the name, the wheat cent. In 1959, they started making memorials. Same obverse, Lincoln on the obverse, and then the reverse was changed to the memorial design. I'll show you that in just a second. So something to really note here, everybody, these are the proofs. The condition, the way the coin was made is different than an uncirculated coin. Look at the detail. You could see Lincoln in the monument on the reverse of this coin. Now, proofs were made for collectors, and in fact, they're only made available in proof sets that have been made by the Mint every year since the year 1950. In the year 58 and 59, though, proof sets were in a soft poly pack. So the coins were in a little air bubble and inside an envelope, and they moved around inside that poly pack. If they were shipped or mailed or kind of whatever, moved around in storage, they moved around. And fast forward to today, that's why we don't have a lot of high grades out there. No 70s at all. These are the finest known proof since 1958 and 1959. Key thing to remember, one of the key things about these things, besides all the other great stuff I already mentioned, last, first, high quality, proof, finest known, the mintage figure. Very, very few made. Only 875,000 made for the 1958. Again, that was out of a proof set, and 1.1 million for 1959. Very, very small mintage figure if you compare that over the years to different mintage figures of proof sets. Then we drill down the next step. First, we have a mintage figure. Well, now we want to know how many are out there in this grade. Well, in proof 69 for the 1958, the last ever wheat cent, there's only 1,677, everybody. There's only 1,677. That's less than 0.2% of the entire mintage. That's incredible. That's a very, very small population. And 1959, out of 1.1 million proof sets, there's only 1,635 known to exist in 69. Again, not 69 or better, 69, finest known. Both of these available individually, folks. $249.95 on the 1958. The price guide is $450 for the 1958. Our price $249.95. The 1959, this one right here, the first ever memorial cent, proof 69, is $199.95. And the price guide for that is $375. Our price $199.95. These are your choice. They're available individually. You don't have to buy both to get that low price. Join us with one or the other, or multiples of one or the other. You could join us by calling us, mention these item numbers to your operators. Join us via the website as well. That's another way of ordering, and that website is avccoins.com. Just search 905-7800 for the 1958 and 905-7809 for the 1959. Each one of them also has a QR code, so if you're familiar and comfortable with using a smartphone or tablet, use the camera app, scan the codes, it pops up with a link, click the link, you're right on the page. End of an era wheat cent, the last ever wheat, first started in 1909, but these are the proofs. Only made available in those proof sets. Only 875,652 were made in 1958. But the best of the best is the 69, and there's only 1,677. Bookend, first of the memorials, first ever. Everybody remembers and collects last and first. So here's a last and a first. The first being the first ever memorial. This one's also a proof, right out of the proof set in 1959, the poly pack. And in 69, out of 1.1 million proof sets made, there's only 1,635 out there, 0.14%. So 0.19% on the 58 and 0.14% on the 1959. Some of you I know like to know the pops. You like to reference the percentages because we like to say, oh, well, it's under 1%. Go guess this. It's under 0.2%. It's under 0.15%. That's absolutely crazy. Talk about a needle in a haystack. Again, price guide $450, $375 respectively. Our prices just $249.95 and $199.95 respectively. A lot of talk out there. Now, again, they've been making proof sets since 1950. They're made for collectors. They're struck to be, I don't want to say they're struck to be perfect, but they're made differently. Okay, they strike them twice under highly polished dies, enormous amount of pressure. They're struck for collectors. They're struck to be nice, for lack of better words. But when you put these through, if you put through modern day proof sets, you'll get X number of 70s. These here, no 70s exist, not a one. This is the finest known, hence is why we put up the finest known, just to kind of give you a reminder. It's the best of the best. The best of the strikes, the proofs. The highest grade on these is these, the 69s. Both are certified as reds. That's what the RD stands for, of course, on the labels. And they're graded by NGC independently. Gorgeous coins, great price. It's time for that 1 minute clock. Last of the Wheats, 1909 is when they started. 1958 is when they ended. First of the memorials, 1959 is when they started. And then 2009 is when they brought out something new. So last of the memorials was 2008. We see quite a number of design changes over the years for the Lincoln cent, the longest running denomination in U.S. history, over 115 years now, because it started in 09. And in 2009, we had that Ford design celebration year, and then 2010 and forwards the Shield cent. So over 115 years on the Lincolns, where we have pockets, the Wheats. This one was the last Wheat. We have pockets, the memorials. This one is the first memorial. These are the proofs, the finest strike. These are the highest grade. In these cases, they are 69s. There are no 70s. The best price, $249.95, $199.95. Competition, we did find one of the 58s out there at $890. On the other, $360. I'm out of time, folks. Let's move on. Pick up the phone. Join us.